Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with The Sopranos. Last time around we had Do Not Resuscitate. Or resuscitate, more like. Anyway, so basically we got more, I suppose, conflict with Janice. And basically Livia figured out what Janice's goal is, basically, which is to get her house and her car and her money, basically. And because there's a do not resuscitate, if she dies, then that money is going to be in Janice's pocket. So she's figured it out. She's not going down without a fight. And it was a very tense, kind of creepy scene, actually, between the two of them, which was pretty cool. Junior is out of prison. He is now under house arrest with an ankle bracelet. And while he was back in his house, taking a shower, trying to shave, he slipped, may have broken his hip. So Tony came over and carried him out so they can get him to the hospital. There was also a whole thing about protests and a reverend, but he was in on it. I didn't quite understand the gist of that, but yeah. Was there anything else? My notes don't say anything else, but I feel like I didn't cover like half the episode, but I guess most of it was Janice, so that's a lot. Janice is a lot of the episode, so yeah. So anyway, yeah, and we took a break last week, which was nice, for me at least. Maybe not for you guys, but it was nice for me. I got to take a break. I went to Portland. I discovered that I get altitude sick when I fly, so that's great. That's just great. But luckily, when coming home, I got the proper medication, basically, and took that, and I didn't have so nearly a bad time coming home. So that was good. But I'm all nice and rested. And a little too rested, actually. I need to crack open this Pepsi so I can get some caffeine in me. But, yeah, that's pretty much that. So why don't we just jump right into this episode of The Sopranos. Here we go.
Hey, no speeding! This is the party zone!
What the hell is happening here?
Where's Meadow?
I give up. In the house?
Alright, well, this can't be good.
Tony.
Billy. Thanks for calling.
Sure, as soon as I found out it was your mom's place.
Oh, what? What is happening?
Fred says Special K and ecstasy.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Your kid's all right. She's a little drunk.
Meh.
341, repeat, you're breaking up.
You better hope she's alright after this.
In your grandmother's house.
Wasn't my fault.
If I had a quarter for every time I heard that since you learned to talk, I'd have a private jet on 24-hour standby.
Meh. Why is AJ up? Does he care?
Are you gonna tell me what she did?
Go upstairs.
No, I want to see the fight.
Anthony Jr., get your little ass up those stairs.
That's why he wanted to stay up.
Meadow,
We can talk about it in the morning.
get down here.
Let her go to bed.
Let her go to bed. I want her to answer for herself. She's drunk. Was she driving like this?
I could have taken ecstasy, but I didn't.
Don't puke on the floor.
What are you
Wow,
doing up? Go to bed.
The
She
not as bad
knows
as you could have been
ecstasy,
award.
you know me? Get up there. So what did you say?
I don't know. I yelled. What the fuck else am I gonna do?
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to say that's suddenly going to convince her of everything? There's an A in Meadow, right?
There has to be consequences. What kind of parents would we be if we let her get away with this?
Typical.
Meh.
Parents still crack the whip. You take away her car, you become her chauffeurs. You ground her, you gotta stay home weekends and be prison guards.
And if you throw her out, the social services will bring her back and we be in front of the judge. She's not 18 yet.
That's your solution, to throw your daughter out?
All I'm saying, with the laws today, you can't even restrain your kid physically because she can sue you for child abuse.
There has to be consequences.
Community service.
Jesus, mother of Christ. Rich, so when'd you get out? How come nobody told me?
I did a lot of meditation in the can on this.
On what?
Interesting.
Can't believe how clear you see things. Do you ever meditate?
Me? Meditate? Are you crazy?
Not as crazy as I used to be.
Eh, thanks to the meditation.
Enough to take an eye out.
What's going on here, Rich?
You might need a little bit more.
The other two stores doing as good as this?
Come on, you know, it's a grind.
It doesn't answer my question.
Hey, look, Rich, I know you're a made guy, so I lose either way. But I always respected you and your brother Jackie.
Oh, okay.
I'm not some...
Jackie's brother.
I'll step up.
Ooh! Oh god, the chair!
Down, huh? You want me down? You piece of shit!
Wow, so that's 10 years of meditation?
There's a Zuni saying, for every 20 wrongs a child does, ignore 19.
There's an old Italian saying, you fuck up once, you lose 2 teeth.
See? That's what all this is about. Ego and control.
I beg your pardon?
I mean...
Please, don't try to make sense with her.
No, I don't understand this. Go ahead, tell me.
You want to hold on to control over a young woman whose entire biological determinism is to achieve independent thought and behavior. And because she's exercised her independence, you want to penalize her because you don't agree with her choices.
Why'd you go get a
Well,
fucking permanent?
there's still the law.
You better have some answers, young lady.
Yeah, it's right.
Okay, fine. You're punished.
For what? I didn't do anything.
You got
Oh,
drunk.
you did
It's
your
against the
grandma's house,
law.
It wasn't my fault.
It's never your fault, Meadow.
Did it just happen to show up there? Don't bring people to your grandmother's abandoned house.
We're under a lot of pressure, okay? You try studying day and night to get into college. We've been working hard. We deserved a night.
All right, take it easy. Take it easy.
A night is one thing.
You guys, I know what I did was not okay. I've been thinking about it a lot. And really
Have you?
not
You've
feeling
been
good about
asleep.
myself, okay? And I think you should take away my Discover card.
You better believe it.
That's specific.
For 2 weeks.
3.
What's wrong with your Discover card? What's going on?
Jesus Christ, how you doing? I gotta tell you, your brother Jackie was like a fucking god. Great leader. And I heard a lot about you.
Yeah, well, I heard a lot about you. That's why I'm here.
Is that good or bad?
What do you mean?
Out of respect for our friend here, I'm gonna talk nice. I ever hear you raise your hands to my niece again, next time you won't see my face. Now get out of here. I want to talk to Tony.
What?
Interesting. You talking about Andrea?
He's a good kid.
Yeah.
Capable.
Well, that's good at least.
Look, Tom, this is the thing.
Can you believe we drank a whole bottle of
No,
wine?
meanwhile,
Three of us? Thank God. Cheers. Cheers.
we didn't see Dr. Melfi last episode.
Richie broke a chair over his head.
Oh my god, are they in the same restaurant?
Hey, have you been?
They're just trying to be nice.
Can't complain.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
They're just trying to be nice. Oof.
Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.
How about you? It might be your first blowjob.
Yeah, of course.
How long did it take for the guy to come?
Eh.
Did you hear that? I said, do you remember your first blowjob? He said, yeah. I said, how long did it take for the guy to come?
Oh my god, we heard you, Polly.
Toodle fucking ooh. What the fuck was that?
I think that was the
God, I
wine.
couldn't sleep all night. I was so embarrassed.
What was so wrong with Toodaloo? It's an accepted form of goodbye.
That's not the
It-
way I talk with patients.
It's pretty
It
cringy.
wasn't me, it was someone else. Young girls are not accountable for their behavior. I think Toodle-oo was the action of a ditzy young girl. And I regressed into the girl
Again,
thing to escape
you guys drank a bottle of
responsibility
wine.
for abandoning a patient. He asked me for help.
My mom's at St. Erasmus. A stroke.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, Tony didn't say anything about it. Guess we're all getting a little older.
Only if that's our choice.
Well, there's something inherently scary about what the fuck is he doing about Richie. Anyway. What's happening?
You're always out to this place. How's your sister?
Hey, there's no need for that kind of talk.
What?
My sister.
Janice. How's she doing?
Oh, that one.
Thought you were baiting me, you know. How's your sister? Fuck your mother.
What? Well, I didn't think that Janice bought Dying Whale Sounds, the CD. Yeah, there's a bunch of crap here. You know this happened.
Have you seen what she did?
Oh.
Meadow. That house is fucked.
Oh.
Thought you didn't swear.
Now you're...
I'm outraged. I am beyond outraged. Talk about disgrace. Disrespect for other people's property?
It's been like 3 days.
Shooting gallery.
You come right into town like some Vishnu come lately trying to play the concerned daughter. Who the fuck are you kidding? You're just here to pick the friggin' bones.
There's a lot I could say right now that I am not gonna say.
Say it.
A lot of bulls.
We discipline our children is none of anybody's business.
You let that girl ride roughshod over you, someday you're gonna regret it.
Mother of God, Janice. Are all of you Sopranos the same? I asked you nicely to stay out of it. You're pretending you don't hear me. Well, maybe you're gonna hear this. Mind your fucking business. Keep your mouth shut when it comes to my kids. All right?
Good.
Maybe I've stayed here too long.
Maybe. Why don't you get lost? Good lord.
What next does the man upstairs have in store for me?
You're lucky it was sprained, not broken.
Hey.
Thing is, you and your brother were always good boys.
You tell me this is the way it is, and so be it. You tell me otherwise, I'm yours, Junior. Whatever, whoever. Just say it.
I can use this.
Maximum security penalty box. Help me.
The fuck?
I was talking to Paulie Walnuts, who was under the impression that Richie had been in Bosnia, where there's also a large Muslim population.
Enough.
Why do they keep letting this guy perform somewhere?
Janice? I'm sorry, is the music too loud? Oh, no, it's fine.
It's not that it's too loud, it's that it sucks.
I just wanted to apologize.
I never raised a child. I was robbed of that when Eugene took him back to Montreal. I'm still petitioning the State Department, but I think they have me on their enemy radicals list. So.
Interesting.
When was the last time you saw Harpo?
He changed his name to Hal.
Well, Harpo's a stupid name anyway.
I don't feel right about you leaving here.
I don't know.
Carmela, you wet fucking blanket.
No, I'm sorry. I can't let you leave. Really, I want you to stay. Okay.
How is it that she can see people falling, right into Livia's hands, but not Janice? Maybe because Livia's just obvious about it. Oh! 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 Yeah. He's gotta be dead, right?
Mine just blah, 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 blah.
Start purging. They won't say anything.
When are they gonna realize that we're practically adults responsible for ourselves?
Oh my god, you suck at making whatever the hell you're making.
But I thought you were dead.
No, and that was my brother Jackie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, how did he die, the poor baby?
He had, cancer.
Me too. Oh, shit, that kid. Yeah.
I don't know why that caught me. Me too.
Oh, I wish the Lord would take me.
Ufama, start to eat. The man's come to visit you.
Take it easy. Is that how you talk to your mother?
Well, you lay the same trip on everybody who comes in here. But don't you have any shame?
Shame? Oh, I got plenty of shame.
Looking right at it.
Believe me, you don't want to hear what I'm ashamed of.
Go ahead, Ma. Shoot your best shot.
That's a
Never
line.
you mind.
That party wasn't my fault. How many fucking times do I have to say it?
Hey!
Oh!
Don't look like you're gonna cry. You made your bed.
You shouldn't have invited people to your grandma's abandoned house.
My sister was halfway out the door. You're the fool for her, Con?
What is she gonna do? Live in a motel that she can't afford?
How about she goes back to wherever it was she was hiding for 20 years, while I took care of our mother?
I thought we weren't supposed to mention Grandma in this house.
Fine. Not gonna argue with you, Tony.
AJ,
if you want to
just
leave, then you're gonna have to
shut
tell her, 'cause
up.
I'm not. It's not Christian.
Well, see? The shit works out. She's a Buddhist.
Hello?
No, this is... How do you keep getting in worse situations for this? Pull over, for God's sake. Oh, God. Okay, that's pretty bad. Oh, for goodness sake, she's there? Oh. Oh, okay. Because she's feeling guilty. I didn't catch that last word. I'm not very good with cursive.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Peter, you're scaring your mother.
Beansy.
You 1,000% sure it was Richie April driving that car?
1,000%?
Yeah.
A fucking 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Tony. He's lucky I ain't no rap fuck.
You want to talk all this old school bullshit about the rules? Well, here's a rule you might remember. I'm the motherfucking one who calls the shots. And you better pay me the respect that I gave your brother, or we're gonna have a problem.
Nah.
A bad one. Now get the fuck out of here.
All right, Tony.
Yeah. All right.
Respect the one, respect the boss. What if in his mind he's thinking, June's the boss, not you? Oh, Meadows... Oh. Meadows cleaning it? Well, don't throw up. You're just gonna make more work. Interesting. Alrighty. What an interesting episode. We now have a new player on the board, which I already thought, you know, it was like, oh, we got a new player on the board because we got Janice, you know, just after, mainly after last episode with the whole, with her trying to take Livia's money and stuff, but no, now we got a new player in, I don't know, I don't want to say like in the real world or anything, but in the underworld, I suppose we could say. Now we got Richie. Richie April. Alright. What an interesting idea. Which have they... No, because he is just another guy that was in... I never remember the name of the other boss who's also in the can. Where, like, he was in, which is why Jackie was acting boss. I never remember... I don't know if they ever said his name, but it's definitely not Richie. Richie was always just a foot soldier, so... Otherwise, Richie would want to be back in charge, so... It's clearly not him, but... But yeah, what an agent of chaos. I mean... And it's interesting, too, because it's like... it's like, why is he doing any of this? You know, if he doesn't know about the whole, like, beef, really, between, you know, Junior, Tony, and Livia, you know, the Soprano Civil War, basically. If he doesn't know about most of that, like, why is he causing such a ruckus unless this is just what Richie is like, you know? He's just an agent of chaos. He does what he does, you know? He does what he does. And for him, you know, he wasn't getting what he was owed from Beansy, so he ran him over with a car. 3 times, actually. One was pinning him against the car, the second was going over him, the third was going back over him when he threw it in reverse. But, at the very least, Richie does seem to be, like, on June's side. Like, he's not complete chaos. Like, he wants to make chaos for Tony, definitely, but, you know, he'll listen to June, which is interesting, you know? I don't know. It's an interesting thing. And did they say that he's Andrea's uncle? Is that what it is? Because he was getting onto Chris. He was like, oh, you know, you're raising hands against my niece. I assume that just means Andrea. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's just an interesting element of chaos that Richie brings, you know? And I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, I don't know how much I'm really going to talk about. But I mean, I guess you have to think of just motives. Like, why is he doing this, you know? Because, like, what specific beef does he have against Tony, you know? Because Tony said, like, look, you know, what's yours is going to be yours. We just gotta, you know, take a little time, you know, shift of power, smooth transition of power, but still, you know? So it's like, you know, why... Like, Richie basically will get back, you know, like nothing ever happened, but why is he taking so long? I mean, granted, it could just be like, you know, sort of compounding things. Like, you know, he went in, yeah, he was going to smack around Beansy. That was one thing. But then, how Tony has handled him, he probably just doesn't like that, you know? Like, because immediately, like, you know, maybe it was just that, like, hey, he was there to talk business, you know? He was there to talk business, they were going to work things out, and then Tony just vamoosed, you know? He was just out of there, you know, and just gone like the wind, you know? So it's just like, you know, why? Maybe that just rubbed him the wrong way, and that, I don't know. But it's a difference of, you know, Tony's not just a capo now. Now he's boss, you know? With June under all this legal stuff, like, he can't be the boss, so it's Tony now, you know? And maybe it's just that Richie doesn't like that, you know? I don't know. It's just, but I guess that could be part of it. It's that he's only ramping up because he doesn't like where things are right now with Tony in charge, you know? So, but he does have the utmost respect for June, you know? But even then, like, he didn't... I guess because his meeting with June wasn't as bad as his first meeting with Tony, you know? It's like... But even still, like, it was sort of the same thing of, you know, he had to go to a mall to talk to Tony. He has to go to this doctor's office to talk to June, but... I don't know. It's an interesting thing, introducing Richie, and just making him this sort of agent of chaos, you know? And it's like, how is this going to affect things, you know? Because, I mean, we have talked about, like, you know, without June, you know, with June going through all this legal stuff with the indictments, it does kind of take out some of the conflict for Tony in, I guess, what we'll call the underworld, you know? But now that's all basically back, now that we got Richie, so... So that's one thing. Oh, God. So, I guess we can just sort of go down the list of characters to talk about for this episode. The next one, I guess Meadow. I don't know, because there's a part of me that, you know, sometimes it's mainly when it comes to like this with Meadow or the stuff with Janice. There is a part of me that's like, am I agreeing with Tony too much? It's like, should I really be agreeing with Tony Soprano as much as I do on these subjects? But there's a part of me, you know, where it's like, you know, it's like, oh, she's got to be punished and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but like, I don't know. It's an interesting thing where it's just like, you know, I guess like from the first things that Janice was talking about of like, it's like, oh, you know, she just did this thing. It's like, you know, you don't gotta have capital punishment for her. And it's just like, well, and it's just, and the whole thing of like, well, you know, her whole purpose is to become more independent. When she asserts that independence, then what, you're gonna punish her? And it's like, just because you don't like it, it's like, okay, but it's not a matter of we don't like it. She broke laws, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, the drinking age is not 17. Because they said she's not 18 yet, so she's 17. So, the drinking age is not 17. It's 21 in the United States. So, that's a start. Even if she was in another country where the drinking age was 18, she's still not legally allowed to drink. So that's a problem. You know, she's not going to jail for underage drinking. You know, luckily, because that cop, you know, owed Tony a favor, you know? And yes, it could have been worse. She could have been taking ecstasy. She did not do that. So I guess what? We should give her an award? The not as bad as you could have been award? Like, no, she should be punished. Now, I think they should have seen through the whole thing of the, well, just take away the Discover card for 3 weeks, you know? Like, the fact that she volunteered a punishment, like, honestly, the punishment should have been, well, you're going to clean the house, you know? Now that is an intense punishment, but at the same time, she was drinking underage. It's like, I don't know. I'm looking at this and it's just like, I don't know. It feels weird. It feels weird watching this show and agreeing with Tony Soprano so much, you know? Then again, at the same time, I guess I was also agreeing with Carm, so the two of them were honestly in agreement about something, so there had to be punishment. I mean, you know, and Carm is right, you know. You take away their car, you become the chauffeur, you know? Like, you know, you take away these specific things, but then you now have that burden as well. It's like you're being punished too. But, and, you know, what they're saying is like, well, you know, obviously you can't hit your kid and you shouldn't hit your kid. You can't restrain them. It's like, you know, you could end up getting sued or anything. It's like, I don't know, community service, which, to be fair, she's basically doing now with the house, but community service. There you go. You know, like that could be a punishment. Yeah, you gotta drive her there and stuff, but there you go. Community service and take away her Discover card. I don't know. But now it seems that she's doing like self-inflicted community service, which is interesting. She's cleaning the house herself, and she's not, you know, it's not good. It's not good. Like, she's nearly throwing up looking at all this, which obviously won't help, but like, and the whole thing of like, you know, well, it's not her fault, and it's just like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't really matter in this situation. You invited friends to your grandmother's abandoned house. Perhaps it's not your fault that the alcohol and the ecstasy showed up, except for the fact that, like, this wouldn't have happened if you did not invite friends to your grandmother's abandoned house. Also, what is entirely your fault is drinking. So, I don't know. And then Janice, I mean, like, again, this is where I'm just in, like, full agreement with Tony. Like, when it comes to Janice, like, his annoyance at her, and that feels like such a mild way of putting it, but his frustration with her, it's like, no, I completely feel what he's going through. Because, you know, she, at first, was all like, well, you know, she's just asserting her independence and yada yada. But then once she sees, oh, there's damage to the house, and she comes in pissed, and is like, oh, no, you need to be punishing her for all this. You need to do this. It's like, Janice, shut the fuck up. Where were you? Where were you on Sunday morning when we were talking about this? Like you're so two-faced about it, and you're so obvious about it. Like, that's the thing. It's like Tony is almost being portrayed in this of, like, you know, like, well, he's overreacting, like he does with so many things and stuff. It's, you know, it's his sister and stuff like that. But Tony has kind of been right about Janice this entire season. All 3 of these episodes, everything he says about his sister has been entirely true. So, and so Janice, and that whole thing, you know, when Carm snaps at her, it's like, and then Carmela just, like, you don't have to apologize about it. It's like, look, there is no reason, now maybe kicking her out, sure, whatever, but no, it isn't any of Janice's business, and none of AJ's business either. He's just there. I love the detail. He stayed up just to see a fight, and then he had to go up to his room. That was funny. But yeah, it's like, no, you don't have to apologize to Janice about that, because it's not her business, you know? And, you know, kicking her out, I don't know. I'm looking at it like maybe you should have kicked her out. But again, look at it. It's like, you know, throughout all of season 1, basically, and, you know, even a bit of season 2, it's like, you know, Carmela has always seen through Livia, you know, seen through all of this, even saying to her parents, like, oh, well, you know, you just staying away, that played right into her hands. And it's like, and now you're playing right into Janice's hands. Why are you falling for that? It's exactly the same between mother and daughter and son. Tony's kind of like that, too. Tony sucks, too, but it's just like, why don't you see through it? Like, you... So it's all frustrating. Also, Dr. Melfi. Dr. Melfi was back in this episode. She feels guilty. She feels guilty over leaving Tony because... to be fair, she is a good psychiatrist. She wants to do her job, and that job is to help people. Even if it's Tony Soprano. And now she's having dreams about him having a terrible crash because she didn't help him. So that's interesting. But it is kind of the most minor point of this episode. But I'm sure we'll get back to that at some point. But yeah. Oh, man, I don't know if I've been so animated in these discussions for a little while. I don't know. There's something about this episode just kind of got my blood boiling. So. Okay. Yeah. So, good episode. Interesting stuff. Again, introducing Richie Aprile as a sort of agent of chaos is very interesting, and I'm curious to see where that will go, how we'll go forward with the story, basically. But that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Sopranos reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.